Having my cousin commit suicide opened up like a new reality to me that you could end it, that things do end, and that it is an option.
It was an option Jeremy Beyonson had never considered. After all, his cousin was his hero. But one Christmas Eve, his hero ended his own life, leaving Jeremy with questions and no answers.
Although I was born into a Christian family and I had a concept of God in my mind, when you hit some of those bumps along the way, it's hard to see how God's relevant and if he even understands some of the pain that you're going through.
Jeremy lived with challenges ever since he was young.
But when I was 8, my parents got divorced. My mom got remarried and divorced a few more times. Did the best that she could, but it's just a tough day and age to be a single mom. And even with support, we were on welfare. But it also kind of brought a level of hopelessness to it too, because at the beginning of the month we'd have a lot of food. By the end of the month we were out of food, and I often had to I would just go and steal food and sell it out of my locker to get extra money. And at 12 I was probably making about 75 to 100 bucks a week selling gum and lollipops. And
Jeremy's efforts to help his family didn't pay off. Their car was repossessed and they were evicted from their home. So Jeremy moved in with his father in Rhode Island.
The school in Rhode Island was just a lot more of a harder school. A lot of gang activity, and I wouldn't join either side, and so it actually left me more vulnerable because I wouldn't join a gang. At the time I was pretty timid, but it eventually just kind of built an anger in me that, got to the edge where I did start fighting a lot. And by the time I was 16, that's when I had really hit rock bottom. I was drinking all the time. I was smoking weed all the time. I had missed 55 days of school. I almost dropped out of high school. One night I was over a friend's house and we decided to play car tag. I remember trying to get away from my friend who was in a truck following me. So I took a sharp turn real quick and I actually skidded in front of a church. And it was at that time where I just remember sitting there looking at the church out the window and just realizing that God was trying to get my attention. And I just knew that the only hope that I did have is if God was real, to try to call on him for help. And it was at that point that I remember kneeling down in the living room and just saying, God, if you are real, I need you to come into my life and make a difference and make a change before it's too late. After I prayed that prayer, I really felt like God entered that room and honored what I had asked for, that I was saved, that God had rescued me. Jesus really has become my best friend, and he is so three-dimensional that he can not only be down to earth and be a best friend, but he is also Lord. He is also Savior. He is my hope. He's my strength.